Declan Rice and Mbappe. What a collaboration that would be. One of them being in the defensive midfield, another one being in the striking section, forward section. It would be a great, and I repeat, it would be one of the best combinations. Having Martin Odegaard in there, having Declan Rice in there, having Kylian Mbappe. What a combination. Hello everyone, and thank you for being part of the Arsenal chapter. And please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it's sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host, Abu Carlos. I'm definitely into bringing to everything that is Arsenal related. We'll remember that a lot is happening, and Arsenal has been linked to quite a big number of football players, but we keep on weighing whom to talk about. And if you want me to talk about any football player, you can always get into the comment section. Tell me, Abu, please, can you talk about this football player? Can you give us information about this football player? I will always. And in most cases, if I do a video, I will listen. This is what I do. I listen to what you've said, and I always try and reply. And if I don't reply in this very video, then that goes to the next video. I'll make sure that what you've asked is in there. And so you've got to subscribe and we keep on the love and moving on together. So let's get the party started. First of all, Kylian Mbappe. Then we've got Kylian Mbappe. We've got Declan Rice. Two football players who are very good. One of them being a defensive midfielder, and yet the other being a very good forward. The club Arsenal is looking forward to make sure that everything is done and dusted for Declan Rice's unveiling is most likely going to be happening today. We don't take it for granted that unveiling that Declan Rice is going to be at the club Arsenal most likely today, because we're just getting used to the Declan Rice transfer, aren't we? Oh, everybody's saying Declan Rice, Declan Rice. We're just getting used to the Declan Rice transfer. But do not forget the football player that is coming to the club Arsenal is a beast. Because £105 million for the football player, that shows you how good he is. 105, and despite the fact that he cost 105 million, it's not Arsenal that only Arsenal were looking at him. As I was telling you here, Manchester City was beaten when it comes to this transfer. Man City puts in a bid, and Man City was trying its level best to make sure that they can stop Arsenal from signing the football player, because they put in a bid, and this bid was £90 million, but it was a revised bid. By the way, when I looked into the Man City bid that he had put in for Declan Rice, what made the difference was the period of time. I know Arsenal wanted to pay £90 million in a period of like 5 years, and Man City was saying we can get £90 million within a year or two, and that was the difference. But still, West Ham was not content with that amount of money. It's quite understandable, and I understand West Ham because that's their biggest football player in their living. Until it was £105 million that they accepted, West Ham say definitely £105 million is okay, it's definitely fine. There is nothing that's going to stop us from selling him. So £105 million, he comes in, he's at the club, he's had his medical, everything is definitely done. So I think it's something to jubilate about. I think Arsenal should definitely jubilate about this, because when you see how Declan Rice has been playing his defensive midfield at the club, West Ham, really, it's been amazing. So him moving from West Ham to the club Arsenal is a big promotion. I know Arsenal is in a better position having him, but him also as a football player, I think he's got a promotion to a bigger club, the fact that he's been at Arsenal for a bit of time. He's been at West Ham for some time. West Ham isn't the best of clubs, You're not going to win anything with West Ham, respectfully. And not that I'm trying to take the piece out of West Ham, but the thing is, him trying and being realistic, Arsenal is a much better club than West Ham. So him moving to a bigger club, that means he's going to have a few trophies on him. He's going to have bigger name than he already has. Though he's a big name, I must say, Declan Rice. Already at West Ham is a big name. And right about now, being linked to Arsenal, being linked to Manchester City, being linked to Manchester United. Big name. But he's definitely going to be a much better player when he starts playing for Arsenal. So him as a football player, I think he's also grown. He's also much better. But also, you need to put in consideration that actually both parties are benefiting in this relationship. Arsenal will be sorted in defensive midfield, and also him as a football player is going to make sure that he gets better because he's surrounded by talent. He's surrounded by very big football players. He's surrounded by good football players, the likes of Bukayo Saka. He's surrounded by the likes of Bukayo Saka. He's surrounded by the likes of Smith Rowe, William Saliba. Is surrounded by Gabriel Mangales, Gabriel Jesus. The list is big. Martin Odegaard, Alexander Zinchenko. All these football players are class. So he will even be noticed much more. And his impact will be appreciated by quite a big number of people. So the latest that we've got about Declan Rice is that his medical was successful, and we're going to be seeing him coming to the club Arsenal and most likely winning trophies with the club Arsenal. So also a bit about Kylian Mbappe, who's a Paris Saint-Germain football player and also is a French international. His move to the club Arsenal is definitely still on, despite the fact that sources say that his move to Arsenal has been hindered a bit by Real Madrid, saying that Real Madrid is looking at getting into this transfer 100%. You'll remember that if Arsenal wants a football player this time around, they always go for him and they fight the fight. Arsenal is not going to back off this transfer because really you can definitely tell. You can tell how Arsenal has been doing business with these transfers. When you look at Kai Havertz, Real Madrid wanted Kai Havertz. Arsenal beat Real Madrid badly, put in their money, and Kai Havertz ended up at Arsenal. When you look at Declan Rice, West Ham wanted Declan Rice to remain at their club, but Declan Rice was not interested in remaining at the club, and Arsenal was also willing to take him, and Arsenal put in a lot of money, £105 million. And it was a fight. It was a bidding war for the football player, but Arsenal won it. When you look at Urian Timber, Manchester United wanted Urian Timber, hands down. Even the Moises Caicedo deal is still in. Moises Caicedo's deal is still in. How can I call it? Moises Caicedo's deal is still in talks, but Arsenal is still at a very high advantage of winning this. And so, there is nothing that is going to stop Arsenal from winning the Kylian Mbappe transfer. If Arsenal, this time round, whoever's doing business for Arsenal, the technical director, Mr. Edu Gaspar, is doing quite well for the club Arsenal. I don't know who is the director of football negotiations at Arsenal, but I think he needs. Let me check who's the director of football negotiations. No. Let me check at Arsenal. Oh, the latest I'm getting, the summer transfer window approaches. Edu was actively involved in negotiations alongside director of football. Oh, he's called Richard Garlick. So Richard Garlick, I think he's doing a great job. And I'm saying here, somebody saying Arsenal sporting director Edu makes transfer business with the director of football operations and negotiations, Richard Garlick. I think Richard Garlick is a very good one. Very good one. Is really doing business quite well. Let me look about Richard Garlick. Yeah, I need to check this gentleman because he's doing great for the club Arsenal. Okay. He's doing a good job, this gentleman, I must say. He's doing a good job. So the way he's approaching football negotiations is way different. He's definitely going in for these football players. He's going in for them and he's winning battles. He's not running away. Talking to the football players, talking to the clubs, definitely that is something that is good. So Richard Garlick, I think he's a very good one, and I think Arsenal should keep him. The way he's doing business this time around, I think I like it. And I don't think Arsenal is going to be running away out of this transfer. Arsenal isn't. I don't think he has even any hopes of running away from the Kylian Mbappe transfer. So we most likely are going to see Kylian Mbappe move into the club Arsenal. There's a big possibility. So looking at how Arsenal has been transferring this business, how Richard Garlick has been doing business, the director of football negotiations, Richard Garlick. When we see how he's been doing this business, of course, he's been alongside the current manager of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, and also the technical director, Mr. Ed Gasper. But big credit has to be given to this football manager of the director of football operations, because sometimes even when the money is available, a football player can say no if you've not said the right words to him, if you've not negotiated the deal quite well, things might not go on quite well, and that all is the job of the director of football negotiations. So Mr. Richard Garlick, I think, is doing a great job at the club Arsenal. So seeing how he's done all these transfers, how he's doing transfer business this time around. Some time ago, I know Arsenal was being linked to great football players, so ended up not getting any, and this time is not the same. This time, the way Arsenal is approaching business is way different. Arsenal is trying its level best to make sure they get the best of football players, put in the money, they're putting in the cash, they're getting the football players that they want. So it's a good thing that Arsenal realize at this point in time that these football players they can get them as long as they really pay quite a big amount of money. I think also the fact that Arsenal ended up in the second position, really, Mikel Arteta must be sitting down and thinking, I ended up in the second position, but if I had this squad, if I have a better squad than the squad that I had last season, I think I will win. And I'm not going to win the Premier League title only. I could compete for the Champions League and also other cups. And that's quite brilliant. That's quite a good thing for the club Arsenal. So let's wait and see how all this will go. But negotiations have to take place between Arsenal and Kylian Mbappe. And the fact that already Arsenal has approached, from different sources, we've got that Arsenal has already approached this gentleman. So from different sources that we are getting, that Arsenal has already approached this gentleman. Let's hope that Arsenal is going to put in the money. Break the bank. I'm for this transfer 100%, by the way. There is nothing that can stop me from not wanting Kylian Mbappe to join Arsenal. I mean, we need a bit of competition, you know. We need competition in the Premier League, because what Arsenal did, actually, for quite a long period of time, Man City has not had a big run like it had last season. If you watched Man City play last season, if you watched Pep Guardiola play last season, almost every game it was tension on tension on tension. And that's what makes football. That's what makes football a beautiful game. So Pep Guardiola was a very good manager, must say. Very wonderful manager. He realized how dangerous Arsenal is. And from different sources, we got to understand that not Kylian Mbappe this time around. Arsenal wanted two football players, but from Manchester City, one being Joao Cancelo, and yet the other one being who's this football? Gundogan, Ilkay Gundogan. But because Man City sold football players to Arsenal last time, they sold Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko, and looking at the magnitude of success that Arsenal attained because of these two football players, Man City sat down and thought, now, what am I going to do? Am I going to sell these two football players? I'm really digging a hole. I'm digging a grave for myself. So, it's reportedly said from inside sources that Ilkay Gundogan was convinced not to join Arsenal, to go to Barcelona, and Joao Cancelo was also convinced not to join Arsenal because of the competition that they would create at the club Arsenal. But nevertheless, I don't think Man City is going to convince Kylian Mbappe. And Man City, again, they tried. Man City tried to stop Declan Rice from joining Arsenal, but they failed. Anyway, please subscribe and ring that notification bell. I've got quite a lot to talk about, and I think that will be in the next podcast. Subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on what I've got to bring, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host, Abu Kaz. So thank you and goodbye for now.